Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channeling session. Tiara and I are both channelers. I'm Allie,
This is Tiara.
and we are your co hosts of the Goddess Vibration podcast. And we decided that we wanted to do a channeling session for our YouTube channel. So please, if you come across us or if you already are subscribed, welcome. And for those who are new to our channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. But the purpose of this is Tiara and I also are co-founders of the Higher Vibe Tribe on Patreon. We have an online self-help spiritual community, and we post a lot of content when it comes to spirituality. Like, we do Q&A sessions, we host tarot readings, general tarot readings for the collective, and then also we host these channeling sessions. But it's also tied to our podcast, so like there's episode highlights and behind the scenes and blogs, and there's a lot going on in there. But we realize that in today's world with algorithms, our content is sometimes hard to be seen. So today what we wanted to do was we wanted to kind of introduce channeling. Tiara and I are both channelers, but the way that we channel together as a pair is one of us is the sitter and one of us is the channeler. Now, we can both channel, but what works in our dynamic is I'm typically the sitter and Tiara is typically the channeler.
Yes, you guys have seen me do a couple of videos on the YouTube channel. Surprise, I'm also a channeler. So this should be really exciting. We are going to connect to some of the energies that we work with in the spiritual community, the Higher Vibe Tribe. And they're just going to come through and introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about themselves. And hopefully you guys will get the chance to connect to some of those energies that we work with and kind of see if working alongside with us is something you'd like to do.
Yes, so let's get started.
Okay, I'm gonna get situated. Usually what I do is I will collect my energy and I will ground, and I like to carry my crystals. This is a blue calcite, and you will often see me wear a amethyst as well. I love crystals. I have a whole collection. That's a different video. So let's go ahead and get started.
So I invite any entities that have agreed to join us, Tiara and I's community, and we are going to talk to some of them about why they decided to join our community and why, or how, more so how they can help the collective.
This is Thoth. Hello, everyone.
I love Thoth. Some of you might know him as Thoth. I don't know. It's just I've seen it pronounced both ways. But welcome, Thoth. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you please introduce yourself? Give us a little tidbit about who you are, why you agreed to join our community.
So I want to talk a little bit about my name. I'm often referred to as Thoth or Thoth, and I will respond to either. Some of you may know me as an ancient Egyptian being, most commonly associated with the teachings of the esoteric when it comes to the pyramids and other concepts that have been carried on in different lineages on Earth. I decided to participate in this community because I see the need for it. I see the need to extend a hand out to assist humanity in this great, massive shift that's taking place. I understand that it's not something that anyone can do alone. There are many reasons why beings such as myself and other starseeds have decided to assist the human collective. And the primary one being that, as we know, it isn't something that can be done by oneself. Oftentimes, you need a little bit more encouragement or guidance or support. That's what we're here for. And this community is meant to be an extension of that. So we are happy to be here to support. We're happy to channel our wisdom and guidance to you all, and hope that you will consider being a part of the community long term.
And can you please give us some information on how you plan to help the collective? Like, what's your area of expertise?
My expertise is varied. I can support in multiple areas. But if it's anything that's more related to the esoteric or things that are more difficult to understand or comprehend, or perhaps something that you stumbled upon or heard related to any of the ancient teachings associated with Egypt, like the emerald tablets or anything associated within those, I can assist in that area. Clarity, understanding, even discussions around energetics and energetic dynamics, duality, are all things I can assist with.
Yes. So we very much work with Thoth. We have actually already have like 4 channeling sessions up on our Patreon page, and Thoth is a regular and he comes through frequently. So Thoth, unless you have anything else you would like to share, thank you so much for letting us channel you today, and we will call someone else in.
Thank you, Ali. This is Shakti.
Yay, Shakti. Shakti is a Hindu deity, and she is an authentic twin flame with Shiva. And I have called Shakti our designated, resonated relationship specialist when it comes to needing to be channeled. And Shakti, would you like to introduce yourself, give us a little tidbit about yourself, why you decided to join our community, and how you want to use this platform to help the collective?
Yes. So myself and Shiva are often associated with some of the Hindu belief systems. We are goddesses over in that particular belief structure, but we can extend our support to anyone across any culture or language or beliefs. Our focus tends to be that when it relates to the masculine and feminine dynamics. So that's why Ali mentioned that we often provide support around relationships or love or divine connections. Shiva and I have worked very extensively in this area when it came to our own union, and we learned a lot along the way. So our goal with our involvement is to share some of this knowledge and wisdom and teachings for those who are looking to navigate their own divine counterpart connections, or even looking to balance the masculine and feminine energies within themselves. So that's the area that we can focus on and often do. And we're happy to.
Yes, they are both beautiful energies. Actually, Shiva's here on my side.
He likes
They
to
often
watch
show
me.
up, yeah, they often show up together. So thank you both so much. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Any message for the collective?
Please do consider being a part of this community. We do come through often. We love being a part of this community. We think it's a beautiful thing, and it's something that's so needed and necessary for the collective right now. Because as Thoth mentioned earlier, we all need support when it comes to the spiritual journey, especially if you're seeking growth or expansion or working through your fears and shadows. This is an excellent place to be.
Shakti's so excited. I can feel her energy. She's very bright and loving and happy.
Yes, I'm so excited to be a part of this. I love being your relationship person.
Well, thank you both. If you don't have any further messages, we will move on.
Thank you, Ali. Shiva also says thank you. And this is Michael.
Oh, Archangel Michael. I think
Hello, Ali.
you're very well known. I think everyone knows who you are.
I like to think that I'm well known, but I know that not everyone is familiar with me. So I will refer to myself as Archangel Michael. And I think that this is a very important place, a very important community. I really want to see more people take advantage of spaces like this, especially now, especially with what's going on energetically on this planet, especially with the shifts that we're seeing amongst the collective. Everyone needs support, everyone needs a space, everyone needs a place.
Yeah, Tiara and I both work with Michael quite often. So he just, I mean, we love all the archangels. We actually work with a lot of archangels. Just they kind of rotate with us. Like one, it will be Metatron or Raphael or Michael or Gabriel. So they all kind of just rotate, but they all plan to be a part of the community, and like we love to channel them because they have so much wisdom for the collective. Michael, do you have a message for the collective? Do you have any information that you'd like to share?
Fear seems to have grasped many people and kept them stuck in states of stagnation. And we really want to help people beyond that fear. Because if there's anything that's going to keep people stuck and stagnant and in states of unhappiness and unfulfillment, it's fear. It is the illusion of fear. So I really hope that people will reflect on that and consider that spaces like this are meant to assist with navigating beyond the fear, because that's what everyone needs, especially at this time, is to find a way to excel beyond their fears.
Yes, thank you so much for talking about fear. There has been a lot. I feel like fear is the number one thing really holding back the collective right now. And can you offer us any insight on why people are just so afraid to do shadow work, or why people are just so fearful of looking at themselves? Like, what is it that just triggers them to want to run?
The ego is a very powerful thing. The ego will protect us almost to a detriment. It tells us things about ourselves that might not necessarily be true. It warps our perspectives in order to grasp onto a reality that we've been comfortable with for so long. And so if anything challenges that or challenges your prevailing notions, especially any notions that you've held onto for your entire life, that can be very jarring and it can be very disruptive. So I think that for each individual it varies, but I do think that the egoic grasp on many people is just so, so strong, and it's very, very hard to overcome.
So what advice would you have to help overcome some of that fear or overcome the ego?
I've said to you and Tiara that, particularly to Tiara, that she is her own worst enemy. And sometimes you need to consider if perhaps the current state that you're in is your own doing, if perhaps there are things within yourself that are keeping you in your current state, things that are an illusion or that are simply rooted in perception and belief. I would say for the most part, everyone carries some aspect of that, some aspect or element of distorted perception or belief. And overcoming that isn't difficult if you're willing to challenge your ego and have the courage and strength to stare it down and ask it directly if the current state you're in as a result of its doing.
Beautiful message. I love that. Well, Michael, before we move on, do you have anything further that you would like to share?
I'm here to serve the collective, to help as many of you as I possibly can. I hear your messages and your cries for wisdom and guidance and support, and I'll never waver in that. This community is just another extension of that, where I will be as well, but it also serves as a family. And we would love you guys to be a part of this family.
Oh, thank you.
I know, he's over here making me emotional.
Thank you. All right, let's move on. Who is
Oh,
next?
I think I have Archangel Raphael here.
Oh, Raphael.
Our buddy Raphael.
How are you, sir?
It's been interesting watching what's going on with the collective, for sure.
Indeed. Indeed. Yeah, it's something that is I try to rationalize it, I try to make sense of it, and the more that I try, the more irritated I get, so I just continue to rack my brain with how we can expand our reach and try to help as many people as possible.
I don't think that you guys will find a place like this in existence anywhere else on the planet. There are two wonderful souls here that are here to assist you, and they have the connections to some of the highest vibrational beings here that are here to guide and support the collective. So I do want to encourage individuals to consider this place and space as an opportunity to do some of the most difficult healing work, at least because here you have individuals who are doing that and have done it and know what it entails and are willing to hold your hand through some of it. Again, you likely won't find anything like this anywhere else in the collective.
It's a bold statement to make. I'm honored, but I'm also very humble.
I know what you are capable of. I know what you were both capable of.
Thank you. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to share with the collective before we move on?
Don't be afraid to do the deeper reflective work. I know it seems scary at first or intimidating, or perhaps there are things in there that you don't want to look at or that frighten you. But ask yourself if those fears are real or if they're just simply an additional manifestation of distorted beliefs or the ego. Because you'll be surprised what you'll discover when you start asking that question.
I love that message. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Allie.
Moving on.
I have Metatron here.
Oh, Metatron. Hello. How are you?
I echo the sentiments of the other archangels when I say it's been interesting observing the collective.
What's your take on it?
There's too much distortion, much too much distortion that hasn't been challenged in the way it needs to be. And it affects people, and it affects their behaviors and their actions, and it drives them to complacency and states of fear. And I know that what we're asking individuals to do is not easy and it requires a lot of courage. But the state of humanity and the future of the planet depends upon people asking themselves questions, the hardest, most difficult questions when it comes to the prevailing beliefs and some of the things that they've been manipulated to believe.
I love that you use the word manipulation. And because I would say that all this programming is mind control, it's manipulation, it's distortion, it's limiting beliefs, it's scarcity mindset. And that's something that Tiarra and I have been working really hard to try to get out that message, but it's been an uphill battle.
You guys are battling against energies that don't want these type of messages distributed to the collective. So I understand the uphill battle, but you're also battling against individuals who carry very strong egos. There's just a heavy fear component to much of this. So we recognize and understand the uphill battle. But we're here to support you guys.
So I have a question about the ego, because we've found, or we are seeing, that even in spirituality, there are people with really big egos who, once they attach themselves or grasp onto a specific belief, they hold so deeply into that belief and then they try to push that belief upon others.
Mm.
And unfortunately, it's heartbreaking to see, because spirituality shouldn't be about confining yourself into a specific box. It's
Mm.
not about, needing to be a certain way or act a certain way. It should be about seeking truth and authenticity. And so when you have even people in the spiritual space who are trying to push their belief onto other people, it's just, and people think that it's spirituality, or they think that they're helping the collective, but in my personal opinion, that's really not helping the collective or the individual.
The unfortunate thing about that is that in the spiritual space, there is a lot of that. There are a lot of imposter energies that have yet to really balance themselves or extend their offerings beyond the confines of their own ego. So there is a lot of distortion in this space, which is why it's so important when individuals are navigating this area and even looking for services that they practice discretion and use their intuition when it comes to finding someone to work with. Because you were right that individuals who have their own narrative and want to push that narrative upon others are rampant in this space. And it's important that people understand that and understand that they're going to have to really lean heavily on their intuition and their intuitive leanings to find someone who has their full and best and highest good.
Thank you for your take on that. I've been really wanting to hear, like, an entity's opinion on even what's happening in the spiritual space, because I have seen people speak up on that, especially even on social media, where they're just like, everyone is so, like, people are awakening, and it's a scary thing to awaken, and people just pounce on those people who are just awakening, saying, I'll take you in, I'll guide you, I'll show you the way, these are my beliefs. And they are like trying to push their belief onto other people, when it really should be about support and guidance and helping them find their own truth. And I've just been seeing that disconnect, and I've been seeing that extortion out there, and it's frustrating and sad.
It is. And that's why we keep extolling the virtues of this particular spiritual community, because we at least know that you guys understand the dangers around that and would not be so inclined to push your beliefs upon people or even assist individuals under egoic pretenses.
Well, thank you so much for chatting, Metatron. Do you have any message for the collective before we move on?
I recognize that many of you are awakening, and I commend you for allowing a broader, heightened sense of awareness into your being. For those of you on the spiritual journey, just know and understand that this journey goes beyond just the awakening aspect. There's also a component of ascending and raising your vibrational frequency with deep introspective healing, working on your shadows, working through your inner child wounding, things that perhaps aren't of love and light, but are still very necessary and important on this journey. So please do keep that in mind when you're navigating this space.
Beautiful message. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Allie.
Who is next?
Is there anyone in particular?
I'm actually surprised Gaia hasn't come through yet. She's normally like first in line.
I'll call her.
Okay.
Hello, Allie.
Hello, Gaia. I thought you'd be first in line.
I've been observing.
I feel like many people know you, but for those who don't, can you please introduce yourself and give a little tidbit about yourself and why you decided to join the community and how you plan to help the collective?
So I am Gaia, and I am the planet's spiritual essence. I am the energetic embodiment of the earth, and I suppose you could view me as her soul. I like to consider it as more like an essence or an energy. But I do inhabit this planet and the plant life upon it, and I connect very deeply to humanity, at least on an energetic level. And I'm here to assist the collective to nurture them, love them, support them, and guide them.
So, for those of you who don't know what's going on, right now, there's a global ascension happening, and I'm pretty sure this is like the first one ever where an entire planet is ascending into a new frequency. So, that technically is Gaia. So, Gaia, can you please share a little bit about the ascension process, the global ascension, why this is the first time ever, and anything else you'd like to share?
So when we say ascending, we essentially just mean that the planet as a whole is increasing in vibration from a 3D fear-based state of consciousness to a higher frequency, a 5D or 6D love-based state of consciousness. And this is essentially a journey that everyone can do and anyone can participate in. It just so happens that right now it is a global process because it is something that I have taken upon myself to do. And when that happens, that means that the entire energetic collective either must come along with me energetically, or they can choose to remain in a 3D fear based state and go about life in their own way. Now, we would like to see the collective increase its vibrational frequency alongside with me and ground and manifest a beautiful love based physical existence. But as we know, humanity has free will. So everyone has the choice to choose what they would like to do.
What's your take on free will? I know a lot of people know, well, people think that they have free will, other people think that they don't have free will. I think free will is heavily misunderstood. So if you could provide clarity around that for the collective, that would be amazing.
We find that free will is a gift and is unique because on this planet, free will is available to everyone and executed by everyone. And you don't see something like this on other planets in the same way. It provides a very unique healing and learning experience. We obviously would like to see people execute free will in alignment with their best and highest, in alignment with their intuition. But with so many individuals separated from their intuition, you often see people suffer consequence. From those consequences, we are given the opportunity to learn what they teach us and to integrate that so that next time we can make a different choice. We think that that's very valuable and it provides a very intense and immense learning opportunity. So we view free will as a beautiful thing. Some may say that there is no free will on this planet. While I do understand that perspective, I don't fully agree. I do think that some of the influences from which people often make their choices can be overcome and they can be changed. You just need to have the courage and the strength and the awareness to know that you can choose better and do better.
Thank you so much for the message. Before we move on, do you have anything else that you would like to say or have a take on?
I would really like to see humanity overcome its fear and its disconnect from nature, from the planet, from my essence, because there's so much profound beauty in connecting energetically to the planets upon which you reside. It's grounding, it's nurturing, and it can help you along your journey. So please do consider grounding and earthing as opportunities to clear your energy, but also to connect to me and my nurturing guidance, wisdom, and support.
What advice would you have for the people who are very stuck right now? Like they're either content and complacent, or they're not even content, or they just become complacent, or they're just stuck, but they're just too afraid to do anything. They're just too afraid to make things worse or make things better, or too afraid to look at themselves, or they just rather run because they're avoiding. Like, what do you have? What message do you have for those people?
I would ask them to have an honest conversation with themselves because something that we do see often in the collective is that people distort their realities or they will, as you guys put it, lie to themselves. And it's really hard to grasp that that's something that you're doing if you don't have the awareness to know that that is what you're doing. So I would ask people to consider having an honest conversation with themselves. And it doesn't need to be anything more than, is this where I want to be for the rest of my life? Am I content with what I am enough so that I can live with this and be happy with it for the rest of my life? And you might learn some very interesting things.
And last question, what would you have, or what would you say for those people who are just so consumed by societal norms and societal pressures? Because I feel like that is part of the reason why people are so stuck, because people, for example, people in marriages that it's like, no, I took a vow, and even if I'm may not be the happiest person in the world, I'm still going to try to stick to that vow. It's like, because you took that vow, people are attached to the vow itself, allowing themselves to be in a situation that might not be the greatest because they want to honor said vow. This is just an example.
I think a lot of people forget that their journey on this planet is theirs. This experience is one for them, and they are here to make choices for their own best and highest. And sometimes that might mean that you have to choose what's best for yourself, even if it means causing disruption to another individual. I think people are afraid to do that. They're afraid to cause harm to others, to hurt others. But you cannot live for someone else. You have to live for yourself.
I say that all the time. That's actually one of my mottos that I teach in my life coaching.
Absolutely. It's a fantastic message.
Thank you. Well, Gaia, thank you so much for joining us. If you don't have anything else, we will move on to the next.
Thank you, guys.
I have Zeus over here. I will send him over to Tiarra, but Zeus we don't actually channel very often, but he has
Oh.
agreed to be a part of this community.
Oh, okay. Hello, Ellie.
Hello, Zeus. The god of thunder, how are you?
It's been interesting, but I'm doing well.
Well, we don't channel you very often, but would you like to introduce yourself? Give us a little tidbit about who you are and why you decided to join the community and how you plan to help the collective.
There are many on this planet who perhaps are not familiar with the cultural beliefs behind my name and my existence, but I am known as the god of thunder in ancient Roman beliefs. I chose to be a part of this because it's absolutely needed and necessary right now. We are at a very pivotal energetic state on this planet when it comes to the ascension process and the ascension journey. We see the state of humanity and their struggles and how hard it has been for them and the difficulties that they face. We're all here to support humanity and help uplift them, but they have to let us help them. And we often see resistance around that. The ego is such a powerful thing, and it can also be one's own worst enemy. So we're really happy to see spaces like this because not only do you two both understand the significance of this journey, but you also understand the effect and impact it is currently having on humanity and what is needed to overcome much of that. So I'm happy to be a part of this community to assist humanity. And as another being said earlier, join this family because that's exactly what it is. It's a family.
And we are so happy to have you. Thank you so much for joining, agreeing to join. He is just another one of many people that are entities that we channel to essentially be a part of a family, but also to help the collective. And that has been Tiara's and I's message is like, this is why we have the podcast. This is why we're doing the community, because we do have access to entities. We have access to these entities that want to share their knowledge. And it's to be a part of something way bigger than ourselves.
Mm. That's a fantastic message. Thank you.
So thank you so much. And unless there's any other entities that want to come through, we are going to close out this session. We do channel more entities than the people or the entities that were introduced in today's channeling. So again, come check us out, you guys. If you like this video and if it resonates with you, share it, spread it. get people into our Patreon community, because this is a very big aspect of this community and what we do and how we can help the collective.
Yes. Thank you guys so much. This is Tiarra. Thank you guys so much for watching. Some very beautiful energies, and I'm so honored to work with them and to be in their presence at all. So I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yes. Thank you.